All right, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine, where we send ball players and teams back and forth across time to try out different experiments. So, tonight we will be continuing our Team Not Safe for Work inaugural season in 1969. We're up to games 4 and 5. This is the team with the greatest, dirtiest sounding names from across baseball history. And I thought I was going to have to restart the season because I've been learning a lot, even though I've been doing all these weird base game simulations for years, over a decade, I think. Um, I've learned a bunch in the last few weeks, partly from doing a bunch of simulations on stream, also from getting help from a lot of people in the out of the park baseball community, in particular Twins 34, who is like a wizard and master of the base game. Uh, Highly recommend you give him a follow and you check out when he streams. He is very knowledgeable in how things work in the base game. And so, based on some of the things we learned in recent sims, there's a setting when you set up a season where you choose whether to go, uh, like what season format you want to go with. Default is the one I most often use. The thing about default is it does what's called recalc, which means each season it looks at what players did historically and recalculates their attributes to reflect that. So to help show what I'm talking about, let's just go into a player. So we're going to continue game. I already have the NSFW season ready to go. I was investigating some things before streaming to see if I was going to have to restart the season after all. I mean, if we were going to do it, it made sense to do it now because we're only 3 games in. Um, where are we, by the way? We are 3-0, undefeated. Awesome. So under game settings, which is where most of the kind of fun stuff happens, league settings opens up a whole new row of menus down here in this gray bar. And it's under historical, where most of this stuff is. And I thought I had chosen default, which would have done a recalc every year, but recalc is off. Also off are retire players according to history, players miss seasons according to history, uh, historical transactions. Those are all unchecked. And so it turns out I probably did set it up under career mode, which is the mode I wanted. Career mode, what that does is it basically so recalc will allow a player to achieve their peak season because their peak season is in their history. And when it gets to that season and recalcs it, the attributes will roughly match their peak season. What career does is it takes that peak season and navigates a path towards it, but it no longer follows the path that history took. So it no longer recalculates each season based on what that player did, but it may change the attributes based on whatever pathway the game engine maps out for the career for that player to reach their peak, which is what we wanted because a lot of these players with the great names, they either played for a short time in the majors or in some cases like here I'll pull one up for you here. Because there's no correlation between having a great name and having a great career. So just like most major leaguers don't last very long, many just come up for a cup of coffee. Um, some of the players with the best names, likewise, if we're lucky, they had a cup of coffee. If we're unlucky, they didn't make it up at all. So, for example, where is he? One of the best names on our team. Here we go. One of the best names on our team, left-handed pitcher Steve Sharks, never made it to the majors, but he has a player card in the game, a profile in the game. It has a potential, and so by leaving it on career mode, we can let the AI predict some path for that player to make it um, to at least develop. And the other thing is we've done is we've stacked things in favor of the players developing. So if you go here under um, so you should know this, is you have personnel on your team. And that personnel includes major league personnel up here at the top, but also your minor league personnel. So as we're playing in 1969, we just have rookie ball and A ball. If you play more recent seasons, you'll have everything from triple A, double A, single A, summer ball, and so on. But anyway, you have coaches. So we kept all the coaches, but I adjusted all their attributes to make them amazing at player development. Right. So if you look at this pitching coach, because we're in commissioner mode, we can edit whatever we want to. And I chose to edit their attributes as they relate to player development. So on a scale of 1 to 200, I made all the coaches 200 at the things that are important to player development. So what I'm hoping is that helps our pitchers like Steve Sharts, who never made it to the majors. Maybe this will help them make it to the majors, and our major league staff will then also help them be effective in the majors and remain in the majors. Another example of that is you have a team trainer, and your team trainer has ratings that help them either prevent injuries or heal injuries. And again, within editor, we can change those things. Um, they don't manage players, so I left all their managed ratings blank. Um, but we made this trainer amazing at rehabbing injuries. Normally, I would turn injuries off, but because we have a big roster, we have I think over 60 players with great names. Um, we left injuries on just so we can give the players more opportunities to kind of come in and out of the roster and give a chance for some players to come up and appear in some game calls. So we have injuries on, but I maxed out this trainer's rehab skills so that when the players get hurt, the trainer can help them get back onto the field. So injuries are on, which we normally don't do, because if we carefully assemble one of these rosters, whether it's fathers and sons or players who've major league players who lost fingers, um, we don't want extraneous players being added to the team or some of our players getting removed from the team. So things like historic transactions, which I can show you what that is too. That's in the game here. Right. So under players, this normally I turn this off because I don't want to carry more than 26 people, right? We have a theme or an idea we're testing out each time. I don't want to have to take more than 26 players. So and I don't want to have to bring up players to the minors. So I turn off enable injury. So basically no injuries. But this time we've left it on to, kind of encourage player movement, even if it's the expense of someone getting hurt. And then the other thing is I've turned for this one too. I always make sure real historic transactions is unchecked or turned off. This one I usually uncheck when I'm starting the season, but if you forget to do it, you can always uncheck it here. So anyway, I thought I had started in the wrong mode. I thought I had started in the mode with the, and we did some recent episodes that showed us how important it is to not recalculate. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. So there was a 3 episode arc that started with um, let's see if let me hold on, let me find the okay, there's a 3 episode arc. It started with episode 39, where we brought some of my favorite major leaguers from across baseball history into 2023. Um, this was the first one. So the baseline was we used their peak seasons. So for each player I wanted to bring in, like Willie Mays or Hank Aaron, um, I would I would choose which season was kind of my favorite or the one that were the best. And when we did that, they absolutely destroyed the major leagues in 2023. This team went 153-9, and then went 156-6. I think in the second sim they swept all the Silver Slugger awards, or sorry, in OOTP it's Platinum Stick Awards. Swept all the Platinum Stick Awards. Um, I think it was like locked down the top 5 places in the Cy Young Award voting. Just like super dominant team. The purpose of that was to set a baseline to see, okay, these these players are great. Let's see how great they actually are when we bring them to 2023. And then let's bring them back as 50-year-olds. And here, let me hold on. I'm going to make a copy of this next slide and take out part of it because I don't want to show too much too fast. So let me delete these last couple rows. Okay. Oh, sorry, I did that on screens. You saw it. But anyway, if you look at Sims 3 and 4, these are the 50-year-old seasons. And they won 2 games and 7 games. Now, one of the differences between Sim 3 and Sim 4 is I turned the recalc off. And so just if you're new to the game, just to remind you, what recalc means is each season the game engine looks at the player's stats and says, okay, in this, let's say 1969 season, this player batted this average, this many home runs, and so on. Therefore, their attributes should look like this to produce that kind of season. And what I realized in Sim 3, it was doing a recalc, but all these players had been retired. The two who played the longest were Nolan Ryan pitched. I think Nolan Ryan and Randy Johnson both pitched in their age 46 seasons. But by age 50, everyone had been retired. And so when it went to recalc, it saw everyone was retired, so it basically gave them minimal ratings. And so for those of you who play Perfect Team, a team of Jim Unknowns, even though they were 50-year-old versions of the greatest players in Major League history. So for Sim 4, I turned recalc off. And the intent was, okay, don't recalculate based on a retired player. Recalculate based on a player who had a really high peak and then has been declining from that peak to age 50. I'm not sure what's behind this, but for the batters, it still undercut all of them. And they were all basically like Jim Unknowns, but they're basically like empty players. But the pitchers had actually some viable ratings. And so it was on the strength of the pitching that they won 5 additional games, or three and a half times as many games. So we learned a couple things. We did confirm that turning recalc off, or approximating more of what a career mode, which is one of the four choices you have when you start a season, is a little kinder to these players coming off of huge peaks and aging to age 50. So when we brought in the 15-year-old version, so the idea was we'll bring them in their peak, we'll bring them there at 50 years old, see how many games they can win, and then we'll bring them in as 15-year-old versions of themselves and see how they do then. And so when we did the 15-year-olds, we had this knowledge now. And so we turned off recalc. Or sorry, yeah, we turned off recalc, went in career mode. And I think that worked a little better. Now I'm gonna show you. Let me make hold on, I'm gonna make another edit. I'm not gonna do it on screen. I know you already saw the whole slide, but I don't want to give away the ending too quickly here. Um, Also, I know it's tempting to look ahead when I'm talking about a particular row of data. Okay, so okay. So then in Sim 5, which we did last night, and actually Sim 5 and 6 were a lot of fun. We had a pretty active chat, and um, folks in the chat were really enjoying the idea of these soon to be great major leaguers as essentially high school freshmen taking on major leaguers. Now, with recalc off, it projected backwards a little more kindly than it did to the 50-year-olds, and this team actually won 12 games. Um, Ted Williams actually managed to hit 30 some doubles, I think 36 doubles, and had like a 269 on base percentage. Again, this is a high school kid, 15 years old, facing major league pitching, and hit 30 some doubles and had an on base percentage in the 260s. Interesting, also got hit by a pitch 17 times. So I don't know where that came from, but we thought that was interesting. But the highlight of the season was Tom Seaver, as a 15-year-old, struck out 6 major leaguers in a row, including uh, Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto, Trey Turner, right? Some like real legit major league hitters. And he struck 6 of them out in a row as a 15-year-old. So we had a lot of fun watching the sim play out. We did a speed sim of the season. We're like counting up the wins. And then when we got the achievements, that's when we learned that Tom Seaver struck out 6 in a row. And then we went and dug up the box scores for those games. We looked on the schedule. We looked on his game log to figure out when it might have been. Um, and that's how we knew who he struck out to get those 6 in a row. And it was across 3 games because he's coming out of the pen. And so that was a lot of fun. And then Chunks of Man 420 had a suggestion that we crank up the development settings. So that's something you can do in the game at any point. Here on, it's under players and team, right? Down here in the bottom left, you can set how fast batters and pitchers age, and you can set up how fast batters and pitchers develop. So if you set it at 1, it's like they age normally and they develop normally. And so, whatever that might mean, like, a hitter might reach maturity in their early 20s and start to decline in their late 30s. And I'm assuming it's probably modeled differently over time too, because, nowadays players can be highly effective into their late 30s and 40s. Whereas I remember when I was growing up, it was almost like when a player hit their early 30s, you can expect like a drop off a cliff in their production. And it was like very rare, noteworthy rare that someone would kind of buck that trend. Now you see it happen a lot more often. And so, you can achieve those results by changing these. So if you crank up the development speed, without changing the aging speed, they reach their peak sooner and then stay at that peak longer before they start to decline. And so we got ridiculous, as we often do with the time machine, and we set the development speed to 9,999. And so what ended up happening was our players started maturing like mid-season. And so we'd get these development reports that showed, like Ken Griffey Jr.'s contact going up from a 45 to a 70 in one development, not just one season, one development period within the season, which I think is like a month or so. And so they were developing as the season was going on. So they started out 0 and 28, um, even worse than in Sim 5. So in Sim 6, we cranked up their development rate, but we knew it might take a little while to kick in. Frankly, we weren't even sure it'd kick in during the season fast enough to make a difference. But it did. They started out 0 and 28, and here's how they finished. They finished 82 and 80. Um, Let me get my calculator on my phone for a second here. So if they went 0 and 28, that means they went 82 and 58 the rest of the way, right? 82 and 58. So they won 82 games out of 140. No, that's not even right. 82. So they finished 82 and 52 in their last games. After they went 0 and 28, they went 82 and 52. Um, so they won 82 out of 134 games. So they played 6-11 ball the rest of the season, or six, yeah, 6-12 ball the rest of the season, and they only finished like 4.5 games out of playoff contention. So if the season had been a little longer, or their development had kicked in a little sooner, they would have made the playoffs. And by this point, you're talking about like pretty much a peak Willie Mays, peak Tom Seaver, peak Nolan Ryan, peak Bob Gibson, right? Like all these players hitting their prime as 15-year-olds going into the playoffs. I think they would have won the World Series. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time with chat, just like watching the number of wins accelerate and seeing if we're all like watching very excitedly to see it, could they make the playoffs or not. And then we had a blast looking at their postseason stats too. Um, and of course, swept the Rookie of the Year voting because they're all 15-year-olds, and they all end up having, essentially, like you could take one of their peak seasons and maybe like cut it by a third, at most cut it by half, which is still a pretty good season, especially for a rookie. And but anyway, that helped us learn kind of the at least one of the bookends of playing with this development speed. So it's something I think we'll revisit. I mean, theoretically, we could even bring them in as 5-year-olds, crank up the development seed instead of 9,999. Like maybe we make it 1 million and see what happens. Can the 5-year-olds develop fast enough to be competitive by the end of the season? But it also reaffirmed the importance of um, not doing recalc, instead using the career mode, because even this 12-win season, Sim 5, if it had been recalc, it would have said, oh, this player when they were 15 didn't play Major League or Minor League Baseball, so we don't have stats on them. And so therefore they're going to have minimal ratings. But they didn't have minimal ratings. Some of them had like, I mean, they weren't great because they're still 15-year-olds, but they had something better than um, a Jim Unknown or like a fictional player. So anyway, all of that goes to say, I wanted to make sure that the settings for this NSFW sim did not do recalc because we have so many players who only had a season or a partial season. We have so many players who, only played in the minors. And I want to give them every chance to develop with our great coaches in the minors, with our great staff in the majors, um, develop into like players that can stick around and help our ball club for a few years. Because the intent is to sim this season or this team for a few seasons to give more of the players a chance to come up into the majors and play on the team. Um, because there are 60 some players on our roster, and we want to give them all a chance to shine. So to give you a sense of what that looks like, here's our roster. Now, one thing I highly recommend, and I did in this case, is I put everyone we imported into a short list. You can do that here. Sorry, when you look at a player, right? I'm looking at Jack Glasscock here. Under actions, you can shortlist them. There's a default shortlist, or you can make up shortlists like left-handed pitchers or power hitters. Well, what happens when you shortlist them is anytime there's a player list, they end up being in all caps versus players who aren't. If you look over here in our Gulf Coast League team, right? Red Woodhead is in all caps because he was part of our import, but these other players they were already there, so they are not in all caps. And when you hover over them in their profile pop up, it's still regular capitalization, but this just helps you find the players in rosters and stuff, right? So our active roster is all caps because our active roster is all the people we brought in. But in our Class A minors, you see there's like a mixture here of all caps and regular case. But anyway, there are folks like, um, Cy Studley or Bert Sincock um, in this rookie ball team that I would like to give a chance to come up and see what they can do. Like here's Buck Hooker, and he hasn't even played yet because this class of minor league ball doesn't even start, I think, until the summer. Uh, I don't even know if our A ball team has played yet. Let's see if Mike Hunt has gotten any action yet. Um, oh yeah, okay, they have. So he's playing first base for our minor league affiliate. It's an Expos affiliate because we took over the Expos. They were expansion team in 1969. And you can see he's already played in 2 games and gotten 4 hits. He's hitting 571. So pretty impressive early season performance by Mike Hunt. He does not have, though, the green arrow saying that he's ready to be promoted like Gene Crap here does. So I think it's probably just, obviously small sample size, only 2 games um, worth of data, but off to a good start. And I'm hoping with the coaching he's getting, he'll improve well enough that eventually we can bring him up into the major league roster and have him in some games that we call. But in the meantime, that also means these folks are going to continue to get better too, which is great. So I think let's just go ahead and sim and do highlights for a couple games. I think actually we'll do play by play. Now there's 2 ways we could do this, right? We could play the game, in which case we'd have to like make decisions on every at bat. But I think to be consistent with all the other sims, I'm going to let the AI decide all the kind of in-game decisions. And so we're going to just sim the game and then retroactively go back and watch the play-by-play. So the outcome's already predetermined, but we'll view it as if like we're watching a live game. All right, so where are we in the calendar here? Oh yeah, I did want to. I just want to make sure that in the standings. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So I think the easiest way to do this is I like to go under scores here, and so this game we did last time. So we're gonna hide scores and go to the next day. And let's see. Let's make sure we're playing this day. Yep. So we have a game against the Cubs. I think we just finished a three-game series. So let's look at our schedule. Yeah, right. We finished the three-game road trip at the Mets, and the Mets are my favorite team, so that was actually kind of fun. And our road trip continues. We're going to play three games at Chicago, and then we have a two-game homestand versus the Cardinals, and then again on the road against the Phillies. Because we have these two-game series coming up, maybe we'll try to sim all three of these games. That way, we can do three games tonight, and then two games the next stream, and two games the next stream. And my intent was to do these on Mondays, but ended up having so much fun doing that 50-year-olds and 15-year-old seasons. Hold on, we're on an ad break. I'm going to pause for a second here. All right, we should be back from the ad break. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so normally I was going to do NSFW games on Mondays, but we're having so much fun doing the peak and 50-year-old and 15-year-old um, all-time greats Sims that I wanted to wrap that up. So I did that last night, and then tonight doing an SFW, but might return it to Mondays. Well, return it to. We've only done it a couple times, but I think Monday nights might be the home for that one, or I say this one. But yeah, maybe we'll do this three-game road trip. So then the next, yeah, so then we can have a bunch of two-game streams, right? St. Louis for two games, Philly for two games, Cubs again for two games, Cardinals again for two games, Phillies again for two games. Then finally we hit another three-game road trip at the Pirates. So let's see if we can try to get through three tonight. I'm tempted to go to highlight mode for these three because we're going to try to do three games, but I want to see everyone play. So we're just going to keep going. Let's see if we want to mess with the lineup at all. If there's someone who hasn't played much that we want to get in this next game, we'll see if anyone's tired. Uh, it shows their morale. I think this is supposed to be their rest status, but it's not showing anything. Let me see if who's someone who's played in every game. I think Woody Held has played in every game, so let's see. He's at 100%. Jack Glasscock's at 100%. Heine Sand, 100%. Dick Sizzler, 100%. Okay, so no one needs rest, but who's our opponent throwing? So if you go to the manager's office, you can. Oh, you know what? I think because I have results off, we haven't simmed the game yet, though. I want to see who's pitching. Okay, Rich Nye, who's a lefty. Okay, so we're facing a lefty, so we're using this lineup here versus lefties. Who do you want to see play? Rusty Kuntz is a lefty killer, so we definitely want him in. He should be in there. So we'll put him in left field. Oh wait, but we want Dick Sizzler in there too. He can play. Oh wait, yeah. So we'll put him in for Dick Cox. So Rusty Kuntz is gonna play right field. Who else do we want to get in the game? Stubby Clapp hasn't played much, and Woody Held has. So let's put in Stubby Clapp for Woody Held. And then let's get Pete Lecoq in there for Albert Pujols. And we'll move Johnny Dickshot in the cleanup spot. Um, oh, Lecoq's a lefty though, so maybe let's not bring him in. We'll let him start the next game against a righty. Um, maybe the same with Stubby too. Is Boob Fowler? If Boob Fowler's a lefty. Butts Wagner's a righty. If he can play second, maybe we'll put him in. No, he plays third and shortstop. Um, putting Woody Held back in. The next time we play a righty, I'm gonna have to try to remember to put Pete Lecoq and Boob Fowler in the game. Okay, I think we're good to go. And who are we pitching today? Gene Brabender. Okay, so uh, it's gonna be a Brabender Johnson battery. Actually, Heavy Johnson's played a lot. Maybe we'll put Johnny Gooch in. Is he a righty? He's a switch hitter. Let's see if he's better versus righties or lefties. Um, he's pretty evenly split. A little better versus righties, but we'll give him a game. Or did he play recently? Today's April 11th. He last played. Oh yeah, he did play on the 10th. Although he didn't get any at bats, so we're gonna give him a start today. We'll put Johnny Gooch in at catcher. Um, we're gonna bump him down the lineup though. Okay, there we go. That was a good lineup for lefties, I think. All right, so let's go back to the scores. We'll quick play the game with hide score. So you can do this if you have games you want to do in this way, instead of just seeing the score pop up and look at the box score, you can actually like pretend you, or not pretend, but you won't know what happened as you go through the replay. So we'll do a quick play with the scores hidden. Okay, so the results are there. We just can't see them there. You can either watch a replay in which we'll see every play, or we can watch a highlight reel in which the AI just curates, and jumps through the game. But let's go ahead and watch the replay so we can watch everybody play. I am not good at these camera settings. I know Dr. Dynastic is. I may actually try to pick his brain or maybe see if he has a recommendation on one of his VODs I can watch to if he goes into detail on why he picks certain camera views. All right, so this is game 4 of our inaugural 1969 season for Team NSFW. Just wrapped up a 3-game sweep of the Mets and are now in Chicago playing the Cubs. We've got Jack Glasscock leading off against Rich Nye. As grounded down to third and is booted by the third baseman, so Glasscock is in safely at first. And that brings up Rusty Kuntz. So Kuntz up with 1 on, no outs. First pitch. It's the ball, and Glasscock steals second. The sound is a sound. My sound's super choppy. Maybe I should turn the sound off. Let's see. How do I do that? Replay controls. Okay, well, maybe we'll just have to put up with it. All right, Kuntz still up. Runner on second. Checks his swing, and Kuntz walks down, heads down to first base. And that'll bring up Albert Pujols. Let's see, what's he doing here? Pujols is hitting 444 this season. Let's see if he can keep up his hot hitting here with 2 men on, first and second. And Pujols takes ball 4, and he walks the bases loaded. That brings up Johnny Dickshot. Dickshot all over that pitch, and he sends it deep in left field, but it's going to hang up for a fly out. But it will drive in the runner from third, and Glasscock scores. So an RBI for Johnny Dickshot. So it brings up Woody Held with 1 out, runner still on first and second. And that's hit to the right side of the infield, snagged by the second baseman, but everyone's back safely, so no double play. And that brings up Dick Sizzler. And Dick Sizzler hits it down the first base line to the first baseman for an easy, unassisted putout. All right, so NSFW is up 1-0, brings up the Cubs to face Gene Brabender. We got a Brabender Gooch battery today. And that's hit down to the first baseline, fielded easily by Albert Pujols for the unassisted out. All right, Adolfo Phillips up now with 1 out, full count. And Brabender lets him go, and he walks. So 1 runner on, 1 out for Billy Williams. Dangerous left-handed hitter. Runner stealing, and Gooch guns him out. Tag applied by Heine Sand, and that's 2 out now. Full count for Billy Williams. And he walks. So the Cubs ran themselves out of a potential big inning here, but they're still up with Ron Santo facing Brabender, and that's what was that? Oh, that was a steal by Billy Williams. So he takes the force away. 2 out, 2-2 count, and Billy Williams drives that up the middle. It's a base hit. Looks like it will score one. Yep, it's an RBI single. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Ron Santo. And okay, they held Billy Williams. I apologize there. That's a little mix up on my part. So the good hustle and throw in by Johnny Dickshot holds the runner at third. First and third now. Pick off first. Santos back in safely. That's hit hard down the first baseline, but Pujols feels it unassisted, gets out of the inning. Yeah, I think the Cubs really ran themselves out of the inning there. Ran themselves out of at least one run. All right, leading off the second, Johnny Gooch. And Gooch hits one deep to right field, but it is caught by the center fielder. I think that's Adolfo Phillips out there. Yep. All right, Heidi Sand now. The 8-hole hitter. He hits it to left field. It's going to hang up for an easy fly out. That brings up the pitcher, Gene Brabender, with 2 out. Brabender hits it up the middle through the box. He's going to be in safely with a base hit. Extends the inning and brings up Jack Glasscock, the leadoff hitter. Hits it to left field, but it's going to hang up there, and left fielder records the fly out. So scoreless in the second brings up Chicago in the bottom second. Ernie Banks leading off. It's a fly ball off Brabender, but easy fly out for Dick Sisler in left. All right, Don Kessinger hits the center field. Johnny Dickshot coming in for it, but it drops for a single. All right, Randy Hundley now facing Gene Brabender. He pops it up. The catcher, Johnny Gooch, is under it and records the putout. Rich Nye with 2 out. Brabender to the pick off to first, but he's back in safely. And he cannot check his swing, and Brabender records the strikeout, gets out of the inning. All right, top of the third, Rusty Kuntz leading it off. And he strikes out swinging. Brings up Albert Pujols. Ground ball to short. Easy put out at first. All right. Johnny Dickshot now with 2 outs. Oh, line drive up the middle. Johnny Dickshot's going to be in with a base hit. That brings up Woody Held. Fly ball to right field. It's deep, and it is gone. Woody Held goes deep. 2-run home run. Increases the lead to 3-0. And that brings up Dick Sisler with 2 out. No men on. 3-0 count. And Dick Sisler walks. All right, Johnny Gooch now with Sisler on first. Pickoff play, but Dick Sisler's back in safely. Another pickoff attempt, but Dick Sisler's back in again. Another pickoff attempt, but Dick is back in. Still trying to pick off Dick Sisler to no avail. It's another pickoff attempt. Dick Sisler is not going anywhere. He might as well just pitch. And Johnny Gooch is going to pop out to the catcher. All right, Randy Hundley records the putout, and the Cubs come up to bat in the bottom of the third. Glenn Beckert against Brabender. That's hit in the right field, but it's going to hang up for Rusty Kuntz to make the catch. All right, Adolfo Phillips, the 1 out, 1-2 count. He strikes out looking. Gene Brabender fooled him on that one. All right, Billy Williams now up with 2 outs, full count, and he draws a walk. Keeps the Cubs alive in the bottom of the third. Brings up Ron Santo. Fly ball to right field. Looks like an easy fly out for Rusty Kuntz, who records the third out of the inning. Okay, brings up Heine Sand now, leading off the fourth. Heine Sand grabs it to short. Ernie Banks picks it and throws it to first for the out. All right, Gene Broadbender, the pitcher, and he strikes out looking. That brings up Jack Glasscock. See if he can extend the inning here. And he does. He hits one right up the middle, and Glasscock is in safely at first. All right, Rusty Kuntz at bat now. And he's going to pop it up to the right side of the infield. And the second baseman, Gene Beckert, records the out. Okay, Jim Hickman leading off against Broadbender. Broadbender records another strikeout looking. Ernie Banks now at the bat with one out. And Banks grounds it to second, where Woody Held makes the play, tossing it over to Pujols. All right, Don Kessinger with two out. He swings and hits it to left. It's going to drop right in front of Dick Sizzler for a base hit. All right, Randy Hundley now up. A pickoff attempt, but Hundley's back. Kessinger's back in safely. All right, ground ball to second. Woody Held picks it up, throws it to Pujols at first, and ends the inning. All right, top of five. Albert Pujols leading it off against Rich Nye. And he hits one up the middle, right back through the box for a base hit. Pujols on first for Johnny Dickshot now. Pickoff attempt, but Pujols is back in safely. Dickshot draws a walk. Dickshot and Pujols on the bases for Woody Held. Woody Held hits one up the middle of center field. It's a base hit. Looks like, I think they're going to hold Pujols. Yep. So the base was loaded for Dick Sizzler with no outs. Sizzler hits one to shortstop. Shortstop's coming home, records the out. Tries to turn two, but looks like Sizzler's in safely. So fielder's choice, one out now. Base is still loaded for Johnny Gooch. Johnny Gooch is going to pop up to the right side of the infield. Second baseman's coming in for it and makes the out. Two out now. Unfortunately, Johnny Gooch could not drive in a run with that out and brings up Heine Sand in a clutch situation. Heine Sand hits it to left field, but it's not going to drop. And the out's recorded and ends the threat. Bases loaded with no outs and no runner score. Hopefully the NSFW team does not end up regretting how that inning went at the end of this game. Rich Nye, the pitcher, leading off the bottom of the fifth. Looks like they're going to let him bat and keep pitching. Ground ball to first. Pujols picks it up unassisted. Beckert now with one out. Ground ball to short. Heine Sand throws across the field to Pujols for two outs. And Adolfo Phillips now. He hits a soft grounder back to Broadbender, but Broadbender's throw is not in time. Phillips is safe. So a two-out base hit for Billy Williams. Pickoff attempt, not in time. Billy Williams hits the center field, but Johnny Dickshot's all over that. And records the out easily. All right, Gene Broadbender leading off the top of the sixth. He hits it to center field, but the center field is going to record that out pretty easily. Adolfo Phillips with the catch. Brings up Jack Glasscock. Glasscock up with one out. 2-2 count. And he goes down with a strikeout. Rusty Kuntz up now. 2 out, 1-0 count. And he hits it short, hard, but played easily by Ernie Banks for the out. So Kuntz ends the inning for the NSFW team, and that brings up the Cubs in the bottom of the sixth. Broadbender facing Ron Santo. Hit to the right side of the infield. Woody Held dives, but can't get it. Rusty Kuntz collects it and throws it back in, but Santo is safe at first. That brings up Jim Hickman. Santo stealing second. The throw from Johnny Gooch is not in time. Heine Sand applies the tag, but Santo's in safely. Hickman now up with a 3-1 count, and he draws a walk. Runners at first and second now with no outs for Ernie Banks. This is the first real serious jam Gene Brownbender's been in this game, but he gets Ernie Banks to go down swinging. Double play can end the inning here. Don Kessinger up now. The lefty facing Brownbender. Grounds it to second. Woody held to Heine Sand. Records one out, but they can't turn two. So it'll be first and third with 2 outs for Randy Hundley. And Hundley goes down looking. Broadbender pitches himself out of a jam. All right, Pujols now to lead off the top of the seventh. Pujols drives it to third, but that's going to be an easy pickup and throw it across the first for the out. 1 out now for Johnny Dickshot. Johnny Dickshot hits it to right field, but that's an easy fly ball for the right fielder. So Jim Hickman records out number 2, and that brings up Woody Held. Woody Held hits it to right center field. It's deep. It has a chance. It's extra bases for sure. And Woody Held's round second. And Woody Held is in safely at third. That's a triple. Brings up Dick Sizzler. Ooh, wild pitch. Woody Held comes in from third, and Woody Held comes home safely. All right, Dick Sizzler now with bases cleared, but the run is in. And Sizzler hits it hard to left center field, but the center fielder ranges over, and Adolfo Phillips collects it for the third out. Ends the inning, but the NSFW team collects an insurance run, going up 4-0. Brownbrender's still in the bottom of the seventh, facing pinch hitter for the pitcher, Manny Jimenez. And that's a line drive to center field. That's going to drop in front of Johnny Dickshot for a single. Brings up Glenn Becker. Becker hits it to second. Woody Held behind Sand. Back to Pujols for the double play. 4-6-3 on that one. And that gets the that brings up Adolfo Phillips at 2 outs. And Chin-Ming Wang is in the game. He must have started the I didn't realize he had come in. So Wang gives up a double. Brings up Billy Williams. Hopefully we won't regret taking Broadbender out of the game and putting Wang in. Oh, that's a wild pitch. So Wang loses control, and that's going to allow Phillips to get to third. So Wang has not been impressive so far. Gave up a double, allowed the runner to get to third. Let's see if he can put away Billy Williams here. And he does. Wang gets Williams to swing and miss. Gets out of the jam he created. Okay, Johnny Gooch now up, leading off the eighth. 4-0 run, a 4-0 lead. Gooch hits it softly back to the pitcher for the easy put out. So 1 out for Heine Sand. He hits it hard in the right field corner. This might be extra bases. Heine Sand rounds first, headed to second. And he is in standing. And Kosuke Fukudome is in the game now. His name is actually perfectly safe as long as you pronounce it correctly. And he hits a towering pop-up to the left side of the infield. The shortstop's under it. And Don Kessinger records the out. I think I said Ernie Banks earlier, but it's Kessinger playing short, I guess. And that brings up Jack Glasscock. 2 outs, 1-2 count. And Glasscock hits to the left field, and a sliding catch by the left fielder. Billy Williams ends the inning with that play. Ends the thread as well. Bottom of the eighth, Chicago Ron Santo leading off. And Seth Moorhead is in the game now. Left-hander strikes out Ron Santo and will now face Jim Hickman. I have the slider set for favoring left-right matchups, but the AI has brought in the left-hander Seth Moorhead to face three consecutive right-handers. And here's the second of those three. Jim Hickman hits the center field. Johnny Dickshot's ranging over, and he makes the play. So Dickshot records out number 2. That brings up Ernie Banks. Oh, that's why Ernie Banks is playing first these days. All right, Seth Moorhead winds, delivers. Oh, that's hit deep into right center field. That is gone. There goes the shutout. Ernie Banks goes yard and cuts the lead to 4-3. All right, Don Kessler pops it to first base. Albert Pujols ranges over and catches it just on the edge of the stands. Nice play by Pujols. All right, the lead's cut to 3. So the NSFW team will be looking for another insurance run here. Rusty Kuntz now facing the left-hander, and he goes down swinging. Albert Pujols, he hits it to third, easy ground ball, and the play is made, recording the second out of the inning. And brings up Johnny Dickshot. Johnny Dickshot walks, extending the inning, letting Woody Held come to bat. Woody Held hits it to short, it's picked up and tossed to second for the out. Force play at second, ends the inning. Okay, bottom of the ninth now. Randy Hundley facing Seth Moorhead. 3-2 count. And gets him swinging. All right, we're on a commercial break. All right, we're back from the ad break. Thanks for hanging with us here. Brings up Oscar Gamble for Seth Moorhead. 1 out, 1-2 count. And it's at the left field. Dick Sizzler settles under that one, records the out. And that brings up Glenn Becker. Glenn Becker hits it to right field. It drops in front of the right fielder, Rusty Kuntz, for a base hit. Hey, Cheeky. Yeah, I'm going to be up. I'm going to do at least one more game here. Hey, Cheeky, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. I'm gonna ask Cheeky if he's getting an ad. Okay. Hey, Holler, you got the rear morning shift tomorrow? Okay. Have a good night. Yeah. I think we all hope Rusty Kuntz does well. He's a fan favorite, along with Johnny Dickshot. All right, so where we are is this is game 4 of the inaugural 1969 season for Team NSFW. Those were in the middle of this year. And we're in a sort of a 3-game road trip at the Cubs. Spore can't say tuffle. He pronounced it like truffle. All right, so let's see. We are at the bottom of the ninth. This game's almost over. I think I'm going to try to do all three games of this road trip because we have after that we have a bunch of two-game series coming up. So I think it would be great if I could just do two games per stream after this one. Oh, Tufel, Tim Tufel, Tim Tuffle, Tim Tufel. I just know him as Wally Backman's platoon mate. All right, we've got Seth Moorhead trying to get out of a jam here with Adolfo Phillips up at bat and the tying run in the hole. And that's hit hard to left field. And it's going to drop in front of Dick Sizzler for a base hit. Sizzler gets it in, holds the runner at second. So it's first and second now for Billy Williams, tying run at bat now. And it's hit to center field. Johnny Dickshot's coming in for it, and Dickshot is all over that one. And he records the third out of the inning, ends the game. And the team NSFW is now 4-0 to start this season. Yeah, like many players, the Met. I don't know if it's that the Mets ruin players or the Mets are just really good at picking up players on their way down. But yeah, by the time he was playing Mets, he was essentially like a 230, 240 hitter, platooning at second base, and made a Buckner-like error. I think it was the uh, NLCS, but no one remembers it because of Buckner's error, of course. But the same kind of play went right through the wickets. All right, so 4-1 win here. Let's check the standings real quick. And yeah, still leading by a game and a half over the Phillies and the Pirates. So let's finish today. Phillies won, so they cut the lead to one game. They're 3-1. And in the AL, there are several undefeated teams: the Guardians, the Orioles, and the Athletics, all 3-0 in 1969. All right, so let's go to the next game. It's going to be Urban Shocker against Jim Colborne. And let's watch the replay. All right, Jack Glasscock leading it off for Team NSFW. Oh, right. The Guardians wouldn't have existed in 1969. That's true. Ground ball to short, and Glasscock is retired. That brings up Heavy Johnson. Heavy Johnson hits it hard up the middle, just right through the box, and he's going to be in at first with a base hit. And that brings up Albert Pujols with one runner on, one out. Throw to first, but Heavy Johnson's back in. Oh, it's a wild pitch. Heavy Johnson's going to advance to second base there on that one. Twins, you added your team files to fix history. Albert Pujols still up at bat here. 3-1 count, and he walks. That brings up Woody Held. One out and two runners on. Hit to third. Chance at a double play, but they'll just get one, and Woody Held is in safely at first with a fielder's choice. Hey, Nolan, what's up? You love when your Heavy Johnson's able to get through the hole down the middle. He did hit it back through the box. All right, ground ball to second, unassisted at second base, retires the side. Dick Sizzler's retired to end the inning. All right, Urban Shocker now. His first start of the season, facing Glenn Beckert. Hit to right field for a base hit. Pete Lecoq collects it and throws it back into the infield. All right, runner on first for Adolfo Phillips. Shocker's pitch is hit to left field, and that will be caught easily by Dick Sizzler. You went to the Nolan. You went to the Giants game. Wild finish. Wild good or wild bad? So you're saying it's a good day, so I'm guessing wild good. All right, Urban Shocker now to Billy Williams with one out, 2-1 count. That's up through the middle. Another base hit. Base runner holds at second. Johnny Dickshot gets the ball back in. They wanted a wild pitch. Wow, that's like Cavacom style. Walk off wild pitch. All right, Ron said, pick off play to second. Not in time. Woody Held tried to sneak in behind him there, but couldn't get the base runner. Urban Shocker trying to deliver a shocker at second base. Did not work. Pujols picks it up, throws to short for the first out. And Heine Sand turns it back to first for the double play. Nicely done by the team NSFW. That brings up Hickman with 2 outs now, first and third. Oh wait, I guess we didn't get him at first. Fielder's choice. Ground ball to short, flip to first for the out. All right, top of the second, Pete Lecoq leading off. And Lecoq hits it to center field, but that's going to be a fly out for the first out of the inning. Brings up Johnny Dickshot. And Johnny Dickshot hits it to short. Picked up and fielded cleanly for the out. 2 down now for Heine Sand. Heine Sand hits it to second. Slow roller. Picked up. Easy out. Quick 1-2-3 inning. Brings up Ernie Banks to lead things off for Chicago in the bottom of the second. Slow roller to short. Heine Sand picks it up. Throws over to Pujols for the out. Don Kessinger now with 1 out. 1-2 count. And he goes down swinging. Randy Hundley now with 2 outs. He hits at the center. Johnny Dickshot walks over. He's going to field that one easily. Dickshot's all over that one, and the inning's over. All right, Urban Shocker now leading off the third. Get that pitcher's at bat out of the way. Hits it to short. Easy play to first for 1 out. That brings up Jack Glasscock, top of the order. Glasscock checks his swing and he walks. Glasscock in at first for Heavy Johnson hits it to right center field. It's going to drop. Could be extra bases. It's to the wall. Johnson rounds first, coming in a second. And Heavy Johnson heading to third. Heavy Johnson in at third base. It's a run scoring triple. Brings up Albert Pujols. Pujols pops it up the right side of the infield. It's caught by Ernie Banks. 2 outs now. Woody Held trying to drive in Heavy Johnson. Hit to short. That's going to retire the side and end the threat. Heavy Johnson stranded at third. And that'll bring up Jim Colborn to lead off the bottom of the third for Chicago. Hit the left field. Dick Sizzler not able to get it in time. Drops in front of Dick Sizzler for a single. So man on first from Glenn Beckert. Squares the bunt right back to Urban Shocker for the putout. No chance to double off the runner at first, though. Okay, Adolfo Phillips now. It's at the center. Johnny Dickshot's going to put that one away easily. Another put out in center field. Billy Williams now with 2 outs. 3-0 count. Let's see if Shocker pitches around him here. Yep, walks the batter. Brings up Ron Santo. Hit down the first baseline. Pujols picks it up for the unassisted out. Okay, Sizzler up to bat. NSFW looking to extend this 1-0 lead. And that's a line drive to the first baseman. Dick Sizzler's retired. Brings up Pete Lecoq. Pete Lecoq drives it to right field. That's a base hit. Be a single. Holds it first for Johnny Dickshot. Johnny Dickshot hits it to center field. Well, that's going to be a fly out. Dick Sizzler holds it first. Heine Sand now with 2 out, full count. Slow roller to second. Easy put out at first ends the inning and ends the threat. All right, bottom of the fourth now. Jim Hickman leading off for the Cubs. Urban Shocker gets him swinging. 1 out now for Ernie Banks. And Banks hits it to center field. Another easy one for Johnny Dickshot. And he puts it away. All right, Don Kessinger now with 2 outs. Full count. And a walk. He heads down to first for Randy Hundley. Hit to center field. Johnny Dickshot ranging over for it. And another easy one for Johnny Dickshot. All right, Urban Shocker leading off the fifth. And he walks. It's never a good sign when you walk the pitcher. Urban Shocker on first now for Jack Glasscock. And Glasscock hits it to center field. But that's going to be a fly out. Shocker returns to first. 1 out now and a full count for Heavy Johnson. Heavy Johnson hits it hard to center field, but at the warning track. Center fielder puts it away. 2 outs now, 3-1 count for Albert Pujols, who hits it to third, and he'll take the out at second, end the inning. Still a 1-0 game. Jim Colburn leading off the bottom of the fifth for the Cubs, and he draws a walk from Urban Shocker, brings up Glenn Becker. Hit the center field. Johnny Dickshot ranges over for that one. Another put out by Johnny Dickshot. He is recording a lot of the outs in this game. Donald Phillips hits it hard to right field. It's a base hit through the hole. Runners going to third, and the throw from Pete Lecoq is not in time. And the trail runner advances too. So we have no force out. Second and third with 1 out for Billy Williams. Hit to third. And Jack Glasscock's able to record the out without the runner advancing from third. Nicely done. 2 outs now. 2-0 count for Ron Santo. And he hits it up the middle for a base hit. That might score 2. Just 1 run. Score tied now. Urban Shocker trying not to fall behind here. 1-1 score. 2 outs for Jim Hickman. So pop up to the second baseman. And that's caught by Woody Held. Ends the inning, ends the threat, but NSFW surrenders a run. Allows the game to be tied. Woody Held now leading off the sixth, trying to recapture the lead. And that's popped up to the first baseman in foul territory for the out. Woody Held is retired. That brings up Dick Sizzler. Dick Sizzler hits to the left field. Hard, but out. And Pete Lecoq up with 2 outs, 2-2 count. And he goes down looking. Bottom of the sixth, Chicago up, Ernie Banks leading off. Still tied at 1. It's a lazy fly ball to left. And Dick Sizzler catches that one pretty easily. Brings up Don Kessinger. And he draws a walk from Urban Shocker. 1 on, 1 out for Randy Hundley. Hits it to second. Woody Held to Heine Sand to Albert Pujols for the double play. Ends the inning. Nice play by NSFW. All right, Johnny Dickshot leading it off in the top of the seventh. Still tied at 1-1. Hits it to short. Easy ground ball. Easy play at first. 1 out. Heine Sand up. 1 out. Full count. Checks his swing and draws the walk. Heine Sand down to first. Urban Shocker now up with one out. Squares the bunt, back to the pitcher. And advances the runner. Oh no, wait, what happened there? Is that a pop-out double play? Oh no, throw to second. Turn the double play. All right. Bottom of the seventh for Chicago. Still tied. Fly ball to right field. And Pete Lecoq retires the batter. Glenn Beckert up. One out, 0-1 count. Grounded to short. Heine Sand picks it up. Throws to Pujols for the out. Two outs now for Adolfo Phillips. Check swing and a walk. Draws a 2-out walk and brings up Billy Williams. Dangerous batter here at the bottom of the seventh. Grounds to short though. Heine Sand flips it to Woody Held at second for the out. Ends the inning. All right. Phil Regan in now, facing Jack Glasscock, leading off this eighth. Still tied 1-1. Hit to right field, but an easy put out. Brings up Heavy Johnson with one out, 1-2 count. Grounded to short. Throw to first. 2 out for Albert Pujols. Pujols into right field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Pujols on at first for Woody Held. Throw over to first, but Pujols is back in safely. Woody Held hits it to right field, but that's just a long out. All right, bottom of the eighth now. Ron Santo walks. So Shocker puts the leadoff batter on base for Jim Hickman. 2 walks now. Hopefully the AI's got someone up in the pen. Ernie Banks facing Urban Shocker. 2 on and no out. Grounded back to the mound. Shocker throws to second. Heine Sand over to first for the double play. 2 outs now. 2-2 count. Don Kessinger hits it to short. Oh, and it gets by Heine Sand. Out to Johnny Dickshon center field for a base hit. And that drives in the go-ahead run. Cubs now up 2-1 in the bottom of the eighth for Randy Hundley. Runner on first. Pitch gets away from the catcher, Johnny Gooch. Oh, no. It's heavy. My apologies. But Johnson's able to collect that and keep the runner at first. 2-0 count. Grounded to short. Heine Sand flips it to Woody Held for the out. I think people are going to second guess whether or not Urban Shocker was left in a little too long. All right, Dick Scissor now leading off the ninth. Hits it to right center field. It's going to drop. Might be a long single. Nope, he's able to get to second for the leadoff double. All right, Dick Sizzler on second for Pete Lecoq. Oh, the pitch gets away, and Dick Sizzler slides stand up in the third. All right, no outs. Runner on third. 1-2 count. See if Lecoq can get this runner in. Nope, he goes down looking. All right, Johnny Gooch still has a chance to drive in this runner from third with 1 out. And he goes down swinging. Golden opportunity to tie the game here. Might go by the wayside. 2 batters now have failed to get the runner home from third. Hey, that brings up Fukudome. 2 outs, 1-2 count. Grounded softly to first. First baseman takes it unassisted. And Team NSFW did not deserve to win that game. Unable to drive a leadoff double in, advances to third on a wild pitch, and cannot drive that runner in from third with no outs. All right, that's a disappointing way to end the season starting win streak. Let's see what happened around the. Actually, I'm going to keep those hidden. And we'll just go to the standings, see what happened around the rest of the league as we finish the day. We dropped to 4-1. The Phillies advanced to 4-1, so we are tied at the top of the NL East. Giants also 4-1 in the NL West. And Oakland, the Orioles remain undefeated in the American League. All right, this is game 3 of this 3-game series at the Cubs. We've split so far 1-1, so this is a rubber match. It is Randy Johnson against Fergie Jenkins. Could be a pitcher's duel, although they both have pretty inflated ERAs coming in. Randy Johnson with a 6.43 and Fergie Jenkins with a 5.40. We'll hide the scores in quick play, and then we'll do the replay. All right, we got Jack Glasscock leading things off with an 0-2 count. Now, Fergie Jenkins not off to a good start. He's got, not, in addition to that 5.40 ERA, he's got a whip of 2.10. But he gets Glasscock looking sharp to start the game. That brings up Dick Cox. And Dick Cox drives on the left field for a base hit. So Dick Cox in safely at first. Brings up Heavy Johnson with 1 on. Throw over to first, but Dick Cox is back in safely. Pitch to Heavy Johnson. I have no idea what happened to that with the replay. Looks like it was a fly out to right field. Yeah, Heavy Johnson's retired. That brings up Albert Pujols with 2 outs. Runner on first. Another throw to first, but Dick Cox is back in safely. Pujols still up. He hits it hard to right center field. That's deep, and that is gone. 2-run shot by Pujols. Gives NSFW a 2-run lead in the first. And that brings up Dick Sizzler, trying to extend the inning. And he hits it hard through the hole, right side of the infield for a base hit. Dick Sizzler in safely at first for Woody Held. Woody Held hits it to right center field, but the center fielder's over to put that ball away to end the inning. But damage is done. NSFW is up 2-0. Brings up Ron Santo leading things off for the Cubs in the bottom of the first. He hits it hard to left field. That's in for a base hit. Lands in front of Dick Sizzler, who returns it to the infield. Brings up Glenn Beckert with 1 out, no outs, and a runner on first. Throw over to first, safe. Soft line drive to second. No chance of a double play, but we do get the first out of the inning. Billy Williams now with a 3-0 count. He takes the pitch for ball 4. And Randy Johnson's in some early trouble here. No, we do have the Johnson battery. Oh, the pitch gets away, but Heavy Johnson managed to keep it in front of him. Keeps the runners from advancing. But 3-0 count here with 1 out for Jim Hickman. And he draws the walk. Bases loaded now, 1 out for Ernie Banks. Johnson gets Banks swinging. 2 outs now, trying to get out of this jam. Brings up Don Kessinger with 2 outs. And he pops it up. And Heavy Johnson puts it away to end the inning. The threat is extinguished. Bases loaded. No run scored. That brings up Pete Lecoq to lead off the second. And that's hit hard to the first baseman, but he gets the unassisted putout. One out now for Heine Sand. Heine Sand goes down swinging and brings up Randy Johnson, the pitcher. Johnson hits his second, and he'll be retired easily to end the inning. Brings up Adolfo Phillips, leading things off for the Cubs in the bottom of the second. He hits it hard to first, but Pujols picks it up, makes the unassisted put out. Brings up Bill Heath with one out. And he goes down looking. And Fergie Jenkins, pitcher facing pitcher here with 2 outs, 0-2 count. And another strikeout. It's like Randy Johnson might be finding his groove here. After some early trouble, that brings up Jack Glasscock to lead off the third. Top of the lineup. He hits hard to shortstop dives, and a rare OOTP diving ground ball put out. That brings up Dick Cox with 1 out, 2-1 count. Hit the third, throw it over the first for 2 outs. That brings up Heavy Johnson with a 2-1 count. And Johnson's going to pop it up to the right side of the infield, and he's retired to end the inning. All right, bottom of the third now. Ron Santo leading things off. He draws another walk. All right, 2-2 count here for Glenn Becker with 1 on, no out. He hits it to short. Heine Sand picks up, flips to second. And Woody Held is able to turn it for 2. And the base is now cleared for Billy Williams. Yo, Big Sushi. Welcome, man. This is game game 6 of the 1969 inaugural season of the Not Safe for Work names team. Top of the fourth now, Albert Pujols is going to lead things off against Fergie Jenkins. And that's a soft ground ball to second. Pujols is retired. And that brings up Dick Sizzler. Sizzler hits it to third. Slow roller over to first for the out. And Woody Held trying to extend the inning here. 2 outs and a 1-2 count. Goes down swinging. All right, Randy Johnson now facing Jim Hickman. Bottom of the fourth. Gets him swinging. Brings up Ernie Banks. First baseman hits it to center field, but Johnny Dickshot's under that one for the out. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Johnny Dickshot tonight. It's Pete Lecoq in center field. All right, Don Kessinger here up against Randy Johnson. 2 outs, 2-2 count. Hits it to left field. Dick Sizzler is not able to get that in time. It's off the wall. Lecoq gathers it, throws it back into the infield. And Kessinger's in with a double. 2 outs with runner on second for Adolfo Phillips. Softly hit back to the pitcher, and Randy Johnson records the out at first. All right, so Randy Johnson's been dancing around some trouble here, but he's still throwing a shutout. Top of the fifth. We're doing good, Big Sushi. Are you coming off a stream or about to stream? Pete Lecoq pops it up to short and put out easily. Yeah, so you were wondering about the game. So the game's actually already simmed, and I'm doing a replay. So we're watching a game that's already in the books, but I hid the score, so I don't know what happens. Just got off. Yeah, you want to see what OTP is all about? Yeah, so it's all simulation based. Each player has a profile based on their statistics for that year. And so I've brought in all these players from different seasons into 1969 to play out a season. And so for most of these players, I picked the season early in their career because I'm trying to do like a 2 or 3 season simulation. And want to give them a chance to kind of develop over those seasons. And here's an example here. You can see Pete LeCoq's hitting profile. 50, so it's a 20 to 80 system, which is based on the Major League Scouting system. So he's kind of like an average hitter. But has an above average name. All right, so here's Heine Sand now leading things off at the top of the fifth. And Heine Sand hits it to short, diving play, not able to make it, so it's in the left field for a base hit. Heine Sand rounds first and holds, and that brings up Randy Johnson, the pitcher. Johnson squares the bunt, hits down the third baseline, advances the runner. Mission accomplished. Runner in scoring position with 2 outs now for Jack Glasscock. And Glasscock draws a walk. So first and second now for Dick Cox. All right, right fielder Dick Cox, 2 outs. Hits it up the middle to center field, and it's in for a base hit. That might be enough to score Randy Johnson. And he's in safely. Extends the lead to 3-0. And that brings up Heavy Johnson with 2 on and 2 out. And Heavy Johnson drives one to center field. Another base hit. That might be enough to score Jack Glasscock. And it does. NSF scores 2 runs so far. Still at bat. 2 outs. 3-1 count for Albert Pujols. Pujols draws a walk. Bases loaded now for Dick Sizzler. Dick Sizzler hits one up the middle, fielded by the second baseman, over to first to end the inning. But the damage is done. 2 runs scored by Team NSFW. Extends the lead to 4-0. Brings up Bill Heath to lead it off for the Cubs in the bottom of the fifth. Draws a walk. Brings up Fergie Jenkins, pitcher against pitcher here. Jenkins squares the bunt. Heavy Johnson fields it over to first for the out. Nicely done by Heavy Johnson. All right, brings up Ron Santo. 1 out, full count. And he goes down looking, I think. All right, Glenn Becker with 2 outs, 1-1 count. Hit to right field, and that's going to be trouble. Off the wall, could be extra bases. All right, Dick Cox hustles over and gets it back in the field, but not before Becker's able to get the second with a double, run scoring double. Leads cut to 4-1. Brings up Billy Williams with 2 outs and a 3-1 count. And he draws yet another walk. All right, Jim Hickman now with 2 outs, full count. Another walk. Randy Johnson has been doing this all night and is starting to catch up with him. He held them scoreless through 4, but the Cubs have scored now and are threatening again. Oh, is that a hit by pitch? It is. Hit by pitch brings in another run. The lead's now down to 4-2. And then, ooh, diving catch up the middle. Great play by Woody Held. And that ends the inning and the threat. Really needed that one with the bases loaded. And make the play, get to bat. Woody Held leads off the 6th. And Woody Held hits it to center field. But that's going to hang up there for the center fielder to make the catch. That Pete LeCoq up with 1 out. 1-2 count. Hit down to first. Flips to the pitcher for the out. 2 outs now. 3-1 count to Heine Sand. Heine Sand pops it up to the right side of the infield. Looks like the first baseman is going to squeeze that for the out. And it's 4-2 still, heading into the bottom of the 6th for Adolfo Phillips. And Randy Johnson gets him to pop out to right field, where Dick Cox makes the play. All right, Bill Heath up with 1 out. 2-2 count. Fly ball to center field. Pete LeCoq with a diving catch. Great play by LeCoq. All right, brings up Fergie Jenkins. 2 outs, 1-2 count. And he goes down swinging. All right, despite the run scored, Randy Johnson working on three-hitter here as he comes to bat. And Johnson goes down swinging. Jack Glasscock with one out, 1-2 count. Glasscock grounds it to short, and he'll be retired for second out. And that brings up Dick Cox. And Dick Cox hits the center field. Going to hang up there for the center fielder. Adolfo Phillips comes in and makes the play, retires the side. Ron Santo leading things off for the Cubs in the bottom of the seventh. Pop up to short. Heine Sand coming in to make the play. And that's out number one. Glenn Beckert up now. And it's a ground ball through the infield to right field. Dick Cox throws it back in the infield with a runner on first for Billy Williams. Williams hits it hard to left field, but right at Dick Sizzler. 2 outs now. 0-1 count to Jim Hickman. Pickoff play at first. Runners back in safely. And Randy Johnson gets the batter to go down swinging. Ends the threat. Heavy Johnson leading off the eighth. And Heavy Johnson goes down swinging. Albert Pujols with one out. No one on. Pujols goes down looking. Dick Sizzler trying to extend the inning here. 2 outs, 2-2 count. Soft grounder to the pitcher. Oh, okay, yeah, he does make the play. Sometimes when the pitcher, when the fielder slows down like that, it's the game engine about to let an infield hit go. All right, Randy Johnson still in the game facing Ernie Banks. Fly ball to right field. It's going to drop in front of Dick Cox for a base hit. Couldn't quite get to that one. Kessinger hits one to center field. Lecoq back for it and makes the first out of the inning. Brings up Adolfo Phillips. Runner on first. Draws the walk. All right, Manny Jimenez goes down swinging. 2 outs now and a 1-2 count for Randy Hundley. Facing Randy Johnson. Goes down swinging. Randy Johnson again gets himself in trouble and gets himself back out of it. Okay, Woody held up against Phil Regan. Be curious to see if the AI takes Johnson out of the game here to bring in a closer. All right, Woody Held goes down swinging for a strikeout. Brings up Pete Lecoq. Lecoq can't check his swing. He strikes out. That brings up Heine Sand with 2 outs, trying to extend this inning and extend the lead. Deep fly ball to right field, off the wall. Should be extra bases. And Heine Sand is in the second base. Brings up Johnny Gooch. Johnny Gooch pinch hitting for Randy Johnson, so it looks like they are going to go to the bullpen. Johnny Gooch hits it to first, and that's going to be an easy put out. All right, let's see who the AI brings in here to close out the game. Seth Moorhead, the left-hander. Moorhead facing Santo. And that's popped up to the right side of the infield. Woody Held's going to make the catch for 1 out. Glenn Becker now facing Seth Moorhead. And he takes a pitch for ball 4. 1 run on for dangerous Billy Williams. But we do have the lefty-lefty matchup here. Hit the third. And Jack Glasscock squeezes it for the out. 2 outs now. Jim Hickman up. Grounded to short. Heine Sand throws to first. And Seth Moorhead records the save. Randy Johnson will get the win. And Team NSFW, they improved to 5-1 on the season. All right, we can take hide scores off now. See what happened around the rest of the league. We'll finish the day here. Check out the standings. Phillies lost, so we are now sole possession of first place in the NL East. Giants keeping pace in the NL West, also 5-1. And the two undefeated teams in the AL still undefeated. Oakland advances to 6-0, and Baltimore improves to 6-0. I think it's a little too early to look at pitching stats. So maybe we could look at some batting stats here. We'll sort by OPS. Yeah, Pujols leading team with 1273 OPS. Dick Cox hitting 545. Heavy Johnson 1076 OPS. Those three are carrying all the weight here because there's a big drop off to 782 for Woody Held. All right. All right, let's save the game here. Hey, Big Sushi, are you still on? Because I can show you what some of the player profiles look like. And I can go into editor mode too and show you kind of the attributes that drive their performance. So let's look at Johnny Dickshot. So the shorter bars are his current ratings, and the longer bars are his potential ratings. And then we have scouting off. If you have scouting on, there's some kind of uncertainty on, whether these bars are accurate or not, but we have scouting off, so they're 100% accurate. And then here's his batting profile. You can only see this if you're in, I think if you're in commissioner mode. So you can see these are his attributes for batting versus lefty versus righty, and this is his potential. So this is what he could be at his peak season. But players will regularly exceed their potential number for whatever reason. So this determines how he hits versus lefty and versus righty, and this bar here gives you an idea of what he would do in a regular major league season based on these attributes. So this version of him would be a 225 hitter with a 615 OPS. And it's similar for pitchers. So anyway, the game engine takes all that together and figures out what would happen in each at bat, and then puts all that together, figure out what happens in each game. And you can sim a season in about a few minutes, or I go month to month, so I can do it in maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Or you can do game by game, which is what we're doing with this Team NSFW. But my other sims, I usually knock out a whole season in one stream. All right, I think we're going to look for someone to raid into because we've done 3 games here tonight, and that was the extent of what I was going to do here. I was actually going to do games 4 and 5 until I realized it was a 3-game. Oh yeah, here's the schedule. So we had this 3-game road trip to Chicago. Actually ends a 6-game road trip. And then we got a bunch of 2-game series coming up. So it seemed like if I could do 3 tonight, then we can do 2 games apiece in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next 5 streams could be 2-game streams. All right, let's find someone to raid into here. Then I could do my drafts at a reasonable hour tonight. That'll be nice. All right, let's see if we can find someone streaming the Park Baseball 25 here. Looks like it's just me again tonight. All right, so let's search baseball. Let's find someone doing something baseball related. And I also like Cheeky's idea of finding someone with like a smaller audience that would appreciate the raid. Let's see, I got Isaac Robles here with 8 viewers, and I've got T Frank 16 with 7 viewers. Let me pop in real quick to see what they're doing, and then I'll rage on over to one of them. Yep, watching an ad real quick here. Looks like 5 more seconds on the ad. I'm gonna ask him if he's gonna be on for a little while. Oh, it's followers only chat, so we're not gonna do this one. Let's try T Frank. T Frank 615. It's like a chair stream, but I'm gonna ask if he's gonna be streaming for a while. Oh, he's back. Cool. He says he's gonna be on for a while, so I'm gonna raid you all into T Frank 615, who's playing MLB The Show 24. Oh man, his settings won't let me. Bummer. I was looking to raid into someone doing baseball. Okay, twins. Let me try that. Let me try Gray MLB. Let me just make sure he's Gray MLB doesn't have followers only chat. Okay, he says I can. He says I can try again. Okay, looks like it's gonna let me raid. All right, thanks for joining me. Time. I always have fun commentating these Team NSFW games. So I'm sending you over to T Frank 615, who is playing MLB The Show 24 tonight. All right, have a great night, everybody.